Okay, so I only have one article for you today, but it's a doozy. Um, and considering again, because we're dealing in the upside down, let's do something absurd. And this is very absurd. Elon Musk threatens to sue for custody after Ashley St. Clair apologizes for transphobia. So just think about that. He is suing for custody. I don't know at this point how old the child is because the mother, one of the many mothers of his children, it realizes that she was being shitty and she wants to actually be kind to people. Alrighty then. So let's get into it. Elon Musk has threatened to sue the mother of his 1-year-old son. So it's not like this person is in danger of being trans. The child is 1. Not exactly the age where you decide that you were born in the wrong body. Anyway, Elon Musk has threatened to sue the mother of his 1-year-old son for custody after she voiced support for the transgender community. No, that's not an exaggeration. I mean, I realize that he hates his daughter and um because, she's actually living a happy life as a trans woman. And he refuses to acknowledge that she's a woman. He insists on misgendering her and using her dead name, which I'm pretty sure that she wouldn't have liked it even if she wasn't trans. But anyway, Musk 54 took to social media on Monday to publicly attack Ashley St. Clair 27 after she issued an apology for past transphobic comments. The billionaire and Tesla CEO wrote in a post on X, which he owns, that he intends to seek full custody. I'm sorry, what? That is not the basis for a custody battle. I mean, just because she acknowledges that she said some shitty things to a vulnerable population doesn't mean that she's doing anything to actively harm your son. Which, last I checked, you never gave a shit about your kids to begin with. So, what? I mean, what do you think she's trying to do? Turn your kid trans? That's not how any of this works. Apologizing for being a shitty person doesn't mean that because she apologized to a group of people that you think are mentally ill, that she's going to try to push that mental illness onto her kid. Because even if it was a mental illness, that's not how mental illnesses work. It's not how gender works. It's not how mental illness works. So, I will be filing for full custody today, given her statements implying she might transition a 1-year-old boy, Musk said. I'm sorry. How much ketamine do you have to be on to take? I apologize for my past comments, being shitty towards trans people, into I want to transition my son. I mean, this is probably why I get a lot of comments when I do videos siding with trans people. I get a lot of comments asking me if I'm trans or assuming I'm trans. That's even better. I've even had a commenter compliment me on my surgeries, which how can it be a compliment if I never had any surgeries? I mean, I have had gender reaffirming surgeries if you consider a hysterectomy to be one. And that has nothing to do with me transitioning. It's because my uterus was trying to kill me. I had uterine fibroids, I had ovarian cysts, I had to have the surgery. It was driving me mad. The fact that I looked 8 months pregnant was literally the least of my problems. So yeah, it's that mindset that if you are an ally, or at least if not an ally, you accept that you said some shitty things and you apologize for it, that doesn't make you part of the community. I mean, I am a part of the LGBT community, but not because I'm the T. That's not it. So, yeah. Same idea that allies do not exist. You're either part of the community or you're not. Or you're some Looney Tune who wants to force the community onto other people. What the hell? All right. St. Clare did not say anything that even remotely implies she intends to transition an infant, only that she feels guilty for her actions, which she now believes have hurt the community. Okay, that's big of her to admit that she said some shitty things and now she's apologizing for it. It takes a big person to admit that they not only that they were wrong, but that they caused harm to others. The former right-wing influencer wrote in a response to a post asking her to address her blatant transphobia that she had been educating herself in private on how to better advocate for trans people. Which is great. It is awesome that she's actually learning stuff, which is probably why she's no longer a right-wing influencer, because learning and right-wing don't seem to work at all. Anyway, so let me just read you the tweet. You've previously engaged in blatant transphobia. How do you feel about trans people in the wake of noticing how the far right truly is? And to her response, I feel immensely guilty for my role, and even more guilt that things I have said in the past may have caused my son's sister more pain. So she's not even talking about her 1-year-old. She is talking about Jenna. I think that's her name. Or is it Vivian Jenna? I can't remember now. But so she's acknowledging that this woman is a woman and that she caused pain by referring to trans people in certain ways. Okay. I don't really know how to make amends for many of these things, but I've been trying incredibly hard privately to learn and advocate for those within the trans... Okay, hold on. It cut off. Come on, load. To advocate for those within the trans community that I've hurt. I also haven't said much on this because I have gone back and forth over whether my voice would be helpful on the issue, since it will be framed as disingenuous or just trying because I'm scorned. Even this reply will become right-wing hysteria because, yeah, I am sorry. Let me know how I can help. Okay. So, St. Clare wrote a children's book in 2023 titled Elephants Are Not Birds, about an elephant named Kevin who tries to become a bird at the urging of his friend, Culture the Vulture. The book states boys are not girls and elephants are not birds. Nobody is saying boys are girls. Seriously. Trans people know that just because they were born in one body and they were assigned a certain sex doesn't mean that they are that gender that normally goes along with that sex. So, yeah, like, her son's sister. She was born in a male body, a boy's body, but she's not male. She is female. She is a girl. I mean, I can understand where the confusion lies because of the words that we use. But we're talking gender, not sex, because trans people know that biologically they will always be the sex that they were assigned at birth, unless you're intersex. So it's a matter of changing your body to where it's more comfortable, whether it be top surgery, bottom surgery, just social transition, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Musk and St. Clare were revealed to have a child together in February, around the time she sued him for full custody. St. Clare filed a custody petition and a paternity petition with the New York Supreme Court, claiming that Musk was not present at their son's birth and has met him only 3 times and has had no involvement in his care and upbringing. Like I said, except for that poor kid that he was parading around with, I guess to protect him from those big bad journalists from saying anything too mean because, he has a kid with him. For the most part, he doesn't give a shit about his kids, which is why he thinks that he wants to be a human sperm donor and repopulate the earth with his offspring, because what does it matter? He doesn't give a shit about his kids anyway. In March, she accused him of financially retaliating against her and the child in response to the petitions, noting that he had still refused to get a paternity test. And yet now he wants to have full custody because, oh my God, she actually acknowledges that, she was wrong about treating trans people like crap. Okay. And I'm hoping that this means that he doesn't have a Z in his name, because he's obsessed with the letter Z. I think he thinks he's fucking Lex Luthor, which, no, he's not. Lex is infinitely smarter, and he doesn't need to go on ketamine. I also haven't said much on this because I've gone back. Okay, that's why they okay, yes, her name is Vivian. So I don't know why they split her quote into 2 paragraphs. Anyway, so that is the end of that article. So yeah, Elon Musk has, just like J.K. Rowling, is so obsessed with trans people that his mind is so pickled when it comes to the right-wing media, that if anybody shows compassion to a group of people he doesn't like because he's triggered that his daughter wants nothing to do with him and has had some epic takedowns of him because, he refuses to see her as a girl because she was born male. He just can't handle that she's a vibrant, intelligent, courageous woman who isn't going to just do what daddy says just because he's daddy. He's so triggered by that anybody who even shows an iota of compassion and empathy to trans people must be trying to transition someone that he loves. And I put that in quotes simply because how can you love a kid you've literally seen 3 times? And actually, I'm impressed that he's seen him that many times. So, yeah, that is going to be one of his many losses because he seems to think because he's rich that somehow the world revolves around him and anything he says and wants will happen. I'm thrilled that, I don't know why she had to sue for full custody. He wouldn't take a paternity test. He saw the kid 3 times. Why does she have to sue for full custody? Even to begin with. I understand why he's doing it, because he's a dick. But why did she have to? Anyway, so it's great that all it takes is to learn and to actually develop empathy to stop being a right-winger. So, yeah, that doesn't bode well for those who still follow right-wing ideology, because she has proved that all you have to do is start learning shit and you will develop empathy. And I'm pretty sure it's because, okay, his sister is Vivian, she's a trans woman, and she actually wants to, wants her son to, get to know his siblings, be a part of that family, and not, be in his own little bubble, just the two of them, because Elon just wants to, I guess he considers himself the new Adam, and he needs to spread his seed far and wide because he thinks his genes are so far fucking superior because he's rich. The fact that he got most of that money, got a lot of that money, not most of it, got a lot of it from his father, who owned a diamond mine, or was it an emerald mine, in South Africa. So just like Trump, it's not like this is a rags to riches story with him. So the only thing that makes your genes superior is that you were born rich. I'm sorry, that's not a genetic trait. But, he was born in apartheid South Africa, so being a white nationalist comes second nature, I guess. So, yeah, I just find this story to be absolutely ridiculous, and kudos to this Ashley for, apologizing for her shitty behavior, and unlike most bigots, learning and realizing that maybe she, shouldn't be bigoted. Maybe she should learn about other people and show empathy, because even if trans people were mentally ill, even if that was true, you're still not showing any empathy, because mentally ill people get help. These people go through therapy to ensure that they are genuinely trans. It's not like they wake up one day, go to a gender clinic, and have gender reassignment surgery. That's not how any of this works. So, yes, the biggest thing people have to do is learn, but the people who need to learn the most aren't interested in learning. They just want to wallow in their hatred for one reason or the other. In Elon's case, it's because he can't handle that he has a trans daughter. In J.K. Rowling's case, it's because she can't get over the fact that she was sexually assaulted in her younger years, and because a man did that, she must, she must hate all trans women because obviously they're just men in dresses, even though I doubt it was a trans woman who raped her. It's just so much pretzeling of the brain that you have to do to blame trans women for your own insecurities. Which makes me wonder. I've actually heard a rumor about J.K. Rowling that her husband is that he cheated on her with a trans woman, or a trans woman was involved somehow. I'm not quite sure how, but there was some sort of involvement between her husband and a trans woman. And that might be another reason why she's losing her absolute shit. Because it's always trans women people have a problem with. Nobody mentions trans men, or very rarely are they mentioned. Which is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Because if trans people are so horrid, why are we concentrating on just trans women? Anyway, that went way off track. So, with that, I will see you guys in the next video.